This is Spencer, your Tampa Bay wallpaper installer, coming to you with another quick tip on a successful wallpaper installation. And I'm here in sunny St. Pete installing a very beautiful coal and sun hand-painted, see that? Nice hand-painted design. And it's a very fine wallpaper. It's actually among the finest paper I've ever installed. This paper doesn't tear no matter how long you may have to manipulate the paper. The edges, the color does stress, just like most wallpapers do, except for vinyl. But given the fact that it's so strong and puts up with such heavy-duty manipulation around outside corners that are particularly not very plumb, I give this an A+, this wallpaper. Now, I want to talk about this special glue that I've made reference to in many of my videos, but I just never have it in my hand to show it to you. And this is not the only special glue that I use, but this is certainly one of them. And this is Romans 555. Now, when I was a young wallpaper hanger in New York, what I would do on my own, I figured it out completely on my own, was that I would use border adhesives in the corner of my wallpaper. I knew that the corners were vulnerable more than anything else. And so I would use border adhesive because I figured it out. I mean, if you just think about it. Vinyl on vinyl, you need border adhesive. Borders were very popular, although not very popular today. But borders were very popular. And so if you were going to cut a corner, what I mean by that is cut the corner, then you're having paper making contact with other paper, therefore it stands to reason that you would use a border adhesive. Now, I have come to the realization, since I guarantee my jobs for a year, from undue peeling at the seams or on the edges, well, if you think about it, your most vulnerable points of your wallpaper points of vulnerability are the seams, but more importantly the edges. When you see wallpaper failing, you'll notice that a corner is peeling up, or at the top a corner is peeling down. And so that's why I recommend a special glue. Even if you used the white border adhesive, it's better than nothing. Now, I happen to be using Romans Pro 880. It's a strippable, clear, heavy-duty glue. But you know what? I don't need to be coming back to my jobs. And when you roll that glue on, sometimes the corners don't always get the amount of glue that the rest of the paper gets. And that's why your corners are vulnerable, because sometimes those things don't get hit the way you think they do. And so this is what I'll do with this glue. It's not cheap stuff. This right here is, depending on where you get it, it's almost $40 for this 1 gallon. But you know what? To me, it's worth it. Look what I'll do. So I'll go around the job before I start hanging the paper. This is never going to come off on its own, okay? First of all, let me take that thing off. I don't even want that thing in the way. I have to get it off, but I can't do it with my camera. I'm the Lone Ranger today. But I do want to show you where else I pay particular attention when I'm doing this special glue. Okay, so all the edges, even if you get it just a little bit, that's going to hold that paper up there, okay? I don't trust the edges to my regular wallpaper glue, okay? This is one of the tricks that a lot of paper hangers will use. If you go on YouTube, you'll see they actually go around their whole perimeter of their job and they prime it. They prime the whole area and they let it dry. You can put this glue on and it will quote-unquote dry. It'll stay tacky. And it's what floor guys do when they put down the VCT tile or the luxury tile on the floor. they'll glue the floor. It's good up to 72 hours. It stays tacky. It looks like this stuff, but it's not. So that's what I do. I use Romans 555, and I'll use another one, or I'll use the glue vinyl over vinyl. Now, listen, if your wallpaper is very, very light, test it for color fasting, because this stuff is not clear. And one of the issues that you may run into is that don't be afraid now, because I'm saying this, but it actually might discolor your wallpaper. But you see, I'm working with a green pattern here, okay? So don't worry about pigmented wallpaper as much as you would, say, something bright white, okay? That I will tell you, please check it out before you do it, okay? In that case, I would use the border adhesive because it's actually white, okay? But please, if you're going to be hanging wallpaper, now, let me finish the sentence. If you're going to be hanging wallpaper, do use something in your corners, your edges. Let me show you one of my first mistakes way back when I was a young paper hanger. So you see this shine on this paint here? This is semi-gloss paint. So when I hung the paper, okay, the person who painted the woodwork brought it out onto the wall, at least an inch. You know, they didn't take precautions to protect the wall from the semi-gloss. So when I hung the paper, it looked beautiful until the next day. And what happened was, when I came back, all of the paper that was on, this is years ago, when I first started hanging paper, all of the paper that was along the woodwork where the semi-gloss was onto the wall was coming up. And I knew right away what happened. The wallpaper glue doesn't hold the wallpaper down on a semi-gloss surface. Now, it would have. I learned a lot of things since then. If I had scuffed it up with a palm sander or a rough piece of sanding paper, a sanding block, it would have sufficed, because what you're doing is you're marring the slipperiness of the paint, and therefore it's going to stick to it. It would actually stick pretty well. So you live and learn, and I don't want you to make that mistake. Pay particular attention to any of those semi-gloss paints that are around woodwork. In fact, I don't even trust it. I still take a glue that I know is going to stick to a shine, and I'll put it on there because that looks very unprofessional. But anyway, that was years ago. There was something called Technogrip back then. Technogrip. And all I think it was just watered down Romans 880. It was a very loose glue, and it was supposed to enhance pre-pasted wallpaper. All it was watered down glue. And I have a video on whether or not you should be watering down your glue. So check that out if you're so inclined. Okay, so that's the tip for today. Don't just use Romans 880, although it is a super powerful glue. It actually also is corrosive. If you have any open cuts on your fingers, you'll see that it burns. So do wear gloves when you do use that stuff. It's not cheap stuff. It's not a poor performer. It's actually very effective. But in the corners, I'll tell you what, don't, especially with heavy-duty vinyl, make sure that you get some very tacky glue in those areas. Okay, this is Spencer, your Tampa Bay wallpaper installer, with another quick tip on your wallpaper installations. If you like the video, click on like, and do me a favor, subscribe to my channel. Share it with a friend, share it on Instagram, Facebook, or wherever. Thanks for watching. Thanks for helping me grow my business. I'll see you on the next one. You can reach me if you have a question at 813-666-7002. Thanks a lot.